And welcome back to the Homeschool Breakroom. What is the Homeschool Breakroom? If you're new here, Homeschool Breakroom is a live thing I do every week where we homeschool moms come and hang out, have a little bit of a breather on Thursdays to kind of take a break from the busy week and gear up for the weekend. Share resources, chit-chat, etc. So, if you're new here, welcome, and we do meet every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern, so I hope to see you back next week. But before we get started, one thing, my internet, because everyone is home right now in the neighborhood, it might be a little slow. So if I lag, just hang in there for a minute and it should clear up. So, what resources do I have for you this week? Oh, but first, let me tell you this. If you are here, today will be I only mentioned of it, corona-free talk. I don't know about you, but I need a chance to have my mind on something else. So, today, none of that. But I do have several resources for you today. I don't know where you are, what weather is like, but it is absolutely gorgeous here in North Carolina today. It's supposed to be 80 degrees and beautiful. And as soon as I'm done here, I'm going outside to I grabbed a book. I'm going to go out and read and just enjoy the beauty. My window's out right there. So that's why I keep looking out there. It is so beautiful outside today. And I am so glad to have some happy weather. So, hello. I'm glad you saw the notification. If you have that little bell, if you click that little bell, that should help you get notified. North Carolina weather today is just absolutely gorgeous. So nice today. So resources, first one. Back in my first episode, I mentioned a podcast contest that was going on from NPR. They have a curriculum to teach kids how to podcast, and they have a contest. That deadline is coming up this coming Tuesday, I believe. So if you had a kid who was interested in that, you'll want to make sure that you're watching your calendar or your time on it. I really love when they are done. They put the runners up and the top one on air, and those are just fun to hear what the kids what their stories are. So that's number one. The second thing I have for you today is a online conference for homeschool moms called the How to Homeschool Summit. This is hosted by Heather from Mom for All Seasons. Used to be called Life of a Homeschool Mom. Anyway, it's geared specifically to new homeschool moms, but I think there's a lot in there that is good for you, whether you are brand new or like me, you've been homeschooling for a decade or more. And best of all, right now through next Tuesday, the 24th, it is free to attend. Before then, you can purchase a lifetime access pass for $12. You can watch free until through the 24th. Purchase a lifetime access through the 24th for $12. After that, it goes up to $25 or $20. Pardon me. But I am really excited about this convention, and I'm speaking at it. I am talking about perfecting an imperfect curriculum. I put up a video yesterday about it. So if you want more information, go to check that, and it'll also be down in the show notes. Like I said, it is tremendously priced at $12. If you know someone who is new to homeschooling, early in their career, you can share the link with them. I think there's a lot out there today. There's new sessions released each day, so it's great to check it in and do it at your own pace. But there are a few already released that I'm looking forward to, and one of them is 6 Things No One Tells You Before You Start Homeschooling. I'm excited. I'm eager to see what Jen Merkling has to say. See if there are things that it's the same things that I would agree with. And then there's another one called Yes, You Can Homeschool High School. I'm looking forward to that one because, as you know, we are in high school, but I'm always looking for empowering messages about high school and middle school for fellow homeschoolers. And then another one is about developing a natural rhythm in your homeschool. And this one might seem odd for me since we've been homeschooling. This is our 11th year, but sometimes I feel like we get into a rut, and I'd like some ideas to change things up a bit. So, those are some of the ones that might appeal to you, even if you're not a brand new homeschooler. Now, on to the next resource is, I have 2 coloring books. Oh, hi, Claudia. The podcast, it's a podcast challenge from NPR. And I will leave the link for it down below. They take your kids with a curriculum through the whole process of podcasting, like how to tell a story within a podcast, how to, like the technicalities of doing it, and all of that. So it's a really neat little curriculum that would be really fun to do. I would say it's probably more geared to middle school and high school, and I think the contest is open for grades 8th through 12th. But I will leave that down, the link for it down there. It's also over in the show notes from my first episode video. Next one, I have 2 resources for you that are printable coloring books celebrating First People. There is one for Alaska natives, and the other one is for Canada, and they were both drawn by First People in those areas. But they are just really beautifully drawn coloring pages, and they're both free to print out. So, again, link down there. And if you are studying or just want to Native Americans, last week I mentioned a free game that you could also print out, and I will leave that link down below as well, or you can go check the show notes from episode 4 for that. And then one more homeschool resource for you, and this is a stop motion animation class over on OutSchool. Again, I'll have a link down there. If you don't know about OutSchool, it's a website that has all kinds of classes for homeschool families, and they can be like a one-time class, or maybe they meet a handful of times. It can be a semester-long class. Teachers are all kinds of different teachers. Anyone can teach, so if you have an interest in a certain subject, go check it out. But this one is a stop motion animation class that meets on April 16th, and we have done this class, and it was really good. It's just a one-time class, but the instructor is really good, and he makes it fun and interesting, and will take your kids through kind of the whole process of using one of the stop motion apps. So just a nice little fun thing that if you're looking for something different to do, this might be a fun one. And there are all kinds of classes out there. I mean, nearly anything you would want to have a class about, you can find over on there. So, again, all the links will be down there. Now I have an idea for you. I'm always looking for shows on Netflix or Amazon or whatever. And one that I think is just kind of it's a spring show for me. When new seasons come out, I've put it off until the spring. I don't know. It just feels like a spring show, and it's called Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. If you have not watched this show, it's a little ridiculous. The storylines are a little kind of absurd, but the characters are endearing and out there, and they're just endearingly weird. And yeah, it's just a fun little show. It's easy to watch. And the storylines it's not a show that you really need to, like, some of the storylines of shows like, I don't even know, 24 or, some of the high drama shows, you have to remember what's going on. In this show, you really don't. It's just easy. Claudia, what podcast do you have? I would love for you to leave it down below. Let me know what the title of it is. OutSchool. There are various ages for them. This one, I believe, was kind of a it's my cat. I think it was like ages like 10 and up, I think is what it is. Each class, the instructor can set the age limit, and they're pretty flexible on it too. But definitely go check it out. There are several that are specifically for teens, and then ones that are for kind of a range of kids. So yes, check it out. Homeschool Ed. Leslie, is that the Great Homeschool Convention Online Classical Ed Conference? Is that from the Great Homeschool Convention Company, or are you speaking about the one that's Susan Wise Bauer and Julie Bogart are doing? Claudia, is ABC Mouse doing something free right now? That would be awesome. And yes, as Claudia said, you can absolutely count it for high school credit if that's what you want. I absolutely am loving high school for that reason. I truly get to decide whatever I want to count as high school credit. We count it. Recently I had my daughter watch a couple musicals from kind of the turn of the century time period. She watched Carousel and Music Man. No, not Carousel. State Fair and Music Man. And we absolutely counted those as part of her high school credit hours. I love it. I am really enjoying that about high school. Yes, Leslie, if you could post a link for that, that would be really awesome. I saw something about Susan Wise Bauer and Julie Bogart from Brave Writer. If you don't know, Susan Wise Bauer is from Well Trained Mind, like Story of the World. They were hosting something free next week too, and I don't have the details of it. I'll share it through email or Facebook page when I grab it. Claudia, I would love to, I'd love to know what podcast it is. So leave a link or just the name of it down below. So those are some great resources for you this week. And one more thing that I wanted to share was an article about math education in the United States. This was an article from from USA Today. Again, I'll leave the link. But it was just really interesting talking about how America ranks in math education compared to different parts of the world, and the different ways we teach it compared to other places, how we have Algebra 1, Algebra 2, geometry versus other countries that do an integrated math with algebra, geometry, etc. in one course each year, that kind of thing, and how different schools are trying different things out, like not teaching algebra in 8th grade, and how that's actually brought scores up because of the number of students who successfully pass it and don't have to repeat it later on. So anyway, the article is really just interesting and just gave me some really good food for thought. So I will leave that down below. Okay, so the homeschool convention, when Leslie is from Great Homeschool Conventions, I saw that they were canceled. I didn't know how far out they were canceled, but I'd love for you to leave the link if you can find it, and if not, I will go looking for it and place it down in the show notes. Love for All. I'm sorry, I don't know your first name. Yes, I believe Reading Eggs does offer a free trial. I don't know if it's usually a 30-day or a 14-day. But Claudia, thank you for that link or for that code for 30 days free. Maybe Reading Eggs is just a 7-day free trial. I forget. It's been a long time since we've been in Reading Eggs with my kids. Now that my youngest is getting ready to turn 10, which is absolutely crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. When I started this channel, he was just 5, and so good time. Homebound is the name of the one by Well-Trained Mind, Julie Bogart. Thank you, Leslie. You were on it today, Leslie, with resources. So thank you for that. I've seen Julie Bogart posting about it over on Instagram, if anyone wants details, and I'm assuming Susan Weisbauer has posted it over on Facebook. I don't really see her much on Instagram. I don't really see Julie Bogart on Facebook, but both of them are there. And last week, I think it was, I mentioned Julie Bogart. No, it was in my episode 2 episodes ago, featuring the word that I'm not going to say today. But I did a whole episode about different resources for studying that C word. And I mentioned in there that Julie Bogart's Brave Learner Facebook group, I think is the name of it, is a fantastic Facebook group. Even if you don't really follow her curriculum, which we don't much, but I try to take inspiration from just her general philosophies. And I always get inspiration and ideas, and it's just a great resource too. So that, I think, is all I have for today. Those different homeschool resources and Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt if you need something easy to watch, and the math article. So if anyone has any other resources or ideas, I would love to hear them. If you, between now and the next Thursday, if you have a resource